I looked at people like Winston Churchill, I looked at Margaret Thatcher, I looked at Barack Obama. I also looked at Stalin. Now, I think Stalin's a great leader. Some people call me crazy, but there are people that agree with me, such as Joschka Fischer, who says Stalin was a guy like we are. Not only was he a revolutionary and lived like one, but was a character in the truest sense of the word. Which leads me on to, what do we know? We know his name was Joseph Stalin. We know he lived from 1878 through to 1953. But did you know that at the age of 16 he was awarded a special academic scholarship, which shows that even from a young age he was very intelligent. Yet, some people still call him a psycho. I recently read a test conducted by John Ronson, who wrote a book, and in this he explicitly illustrates the similarities between CEOs and psychopaths, and some of the world's leaders and psychopaths. He looks at Al Dunlap, who went from being a great CEO to now being in a mental institution. And early signs of this were shown when Al Dunlap said to his wife, "I wonder what human flesh tastes like." And now, behind me I have a list of some of the world's greatest leaders. We have Stalin, Richard Branson, Hitler, and Steve Jobs. I can say that all these people are psychopaths. Can you? Stalin, he wanted to rule the world. Richard Branson, he wants to build an empire in space. Hitler wants his supreme race, and Steve Jobs wants everyone in this world to own an Apple. And going back to Stalin, we can see that Stalin's accomplished a lot. He's taken over in 31 years. He's taken over Hungary, he's taken over Poland, and he's taken over Czechoslovakia. He did all of this through his style of leadership. He had a very autocratic leadership style. What he said was done, the way he wanted it done, when he wanted it done, and how he wanted it done. So, looking at Stalin's accomplishments compared to the people on the list, I'd say Stalin's a genius. But there is a fine line between genius and madness. And USA Today reported that Stalin did kill 17 to 20 million people. But if we can put that aside, I am sure we can conclude to say that when you think about leadership styles, it's how you use your power. Thank you.
Thank you, Shabazz. I look forward to seeing how that leadership style manifests itself in your role as a deputy head boy.
Some would say that it was your destiny to speak to us today. However, our next speaker would probably disagree. Please welcome Megan to the stage.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Megan Smith. I am 15 years old, and I thought it was my destiny. When referring to the word destiny, we most often refer to it in the context of a predetermined course of events chosen by a higher power. In the story Romeo and Juliet, the main character, broken-hearted, love-forsaken Romeo, blames all of his misdeeds, faults, and misfortunes on one group of concepts: fate, destiny, and fortune. Romeo blames the actions he has taken, the choices he has made, and the position he now finds himself in as a result of these choices on the fact that he is fortune's fool. In reality, however, it is not fortune that led Romeo to his death, but perhaps the ignorance of his choices that led him to his destiny. Because ultimately, it was Romeo's decision to kill his enemy Tybalt, which would trigger a series of events that would lead to his death. In life, we all find ourselves making mistakes, failing at one thing or another, being stuck in positions we don't want, and sometimes even being bitter about the goals we have failed to achieve. When asked about these failures, each and every one of us can give an explanation as to why they have occurred. Let me give you a clue. That reason is never ourselves. That reason is a lack of money, a teacher who couldn't teach, or in Romeo's case, destiny. Most human beings, including myself, are very quick to jump to the conclusion that when we encounter